necessity, but see this as a necessity in our daily lives, something that we should be intentional about, something that we should not take for granted. In this part of the world or this part of Nigeria, particularly Lagos, you would agree that most times we as professionals will sacrifice our sleep because we intend to meet certain goals, certain professional goals, and this is usually sacrifice. Our quality of sleep is sacrificed to the detriment of either our physical health, our mental health, our well-being, our emotional balance, and we'll say our longevity. So while we struggle and sacrifice our sleep, it's we are having this session today to properly discuss how we can manage some of these things that we take for granted. And you know, there's that popular adage that says there's no sleep for the wicked. But contrary to that adage, this is not, some people actually struggle to really sleep. So it's not um, wickedness at play as it's where it's more like genuine difficulty for some people to find sleep. And even for some others, even when they find sleep, they struggle and see, some people actually see sleep as something you use to quantify success. They say, oh, a successful man sleeps for just 3 hours a day and 4 hours a day. And some people actually brag about it. But Dr. Okafor is here to enlighten us how we can do better. He's going to provide tips, whether clinical experience or medical research. But I'm very confident that this discussion is going to be enlightening. So I would appeal that we all make the best of this time, learn together on ways that we can improve techniques of improving our well-being through taking priority of our sleep. And I'm very convinced and confident that this session will leave us better equipped to improve our sleep and at the same time also achieve our professional goals. Thank you once again for joining us as we embark on this wellness journey. Please enjoy the session. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Madam Chair. Let's keep the electronic claps coming. Thank you very much indeed. That was an insightful opening remark from the chairperson, Ixan Lagos State Chapter, Miss Efosewere FCIS. Thank you very much indeed. Let me just quickly share one Bible verse that I stumbled on to show you that there is not only science behind the importance of sleep, but there is also, biblical support for it. If you look at Psalm 127, verse 2, and I'll read very quickly, it says, "It is in vain that you rise up early and go to late rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." Now, sleep, or the absence of it, happens to be an underlying issue behind a lot of the health challenges that we face these days. But I won't take the remit of Dr. Okafor. I'll let him speak to us more about that. So still stay with us as we unravel, all of the benefits and importance of, having restorative rest. The next item on the agenda would be for us to take the abridged profile of the good Dr. Dumebi Okafor. Dr. Dumebi Okafor, please confirm that you can still see the screen.
Very well, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Dr. Dumebi Okafor is a Nigerian-Canadian trained family medicine consultant with extensive community and institutional practice history in primary and preventive healthcare delivery, with experience garnered both in Nigeria and North America. He is the Chief Medical Director of the Lagos State-based eMedical Comprehensive Consults Limited, where the emphasis is on revolutionizing disease control through the promotion of preventive healthcare practices. He is also the founder of the African Crusade for Health and Environment, ACHE, a Nigerian NGO dedicated to providing critical public health care and developmental intervention and strategies to the underserved sectors in Nigeria, as well as advancing advocacy for crucial clinical care and public health reforms. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a resounding round of applause to welcome our good Dr. Dumebi Okafor.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
If you will give me a minute, Doctor, so that we can put up your presentation. Okay. Please confirm if you can see the screen.
Yes, I think can, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Please proceed, Doctor.
Just give me a minute to settle in here.
Just apologies, Doctor. So we will take questions at the back end of the presentation. So please just note all your questions. We'll take all of them once the good doctor is through. Please proceed, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for having me. It's great to be back here with you all. I thank you, a very able ESCO, and also the ladies and gentlemen that are gathered here, in the audience. Of course, we can't see because it's a webinar, but I welcome you all and thank you all for having me. The talk is on the science of sleep, unlocking the power of restorative rest. I'll start by, giving a quote. Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep at night. Taken from Act 1, Scene 2 of Julius Caesar, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Welcome to another health and wellness education webinar. It's great to be back here with you all. My special thanks to the organizers for putting it together and to your able leadership for helping to select what is a very important, often neglected topic. Let me quickly add that drawing from our last time together, the Q&A session is expectedly going to be quite robust and engaging as it was. And the interest of proactive time management, this initial didactic session will be very concise, will be as concise as it is precise. Now, diving into sleep, we all know what this is. That restorative rest that follows or should follow a weary day's work, taken from the social secretary's quote from the Bible. And is part of a number of nature-wide automated functions. Slide 1, please. It's not just a stage of our day.
Apologies, Doctor.
Important...
Apologies. Are you able to put on your camera so that it's more interactive?
Oh, for me?
Yes, please.
My camera should be on. Let me check.
Or is it just me? Madam Chair, can you see him? Yes.
Camera is...
Fantastic. We can see you now.
My camera is on, yes.
It's good now. Thank you. Please proceed.
So, sleep, we are saying, is not just a stage of our day, but a very important biological imperative with restorative and therapeutic functions. Sleep is indeed a sacrosanct obligation which is necessary for our body-soul synergy. That cannot be emphasized enough. It is not a single-state event either, but a multi-phase process. So when you are sleeping, not just like you're just sleeping, a lot of things are happening, like software running in the background, in which the brain and body go through repeating stages all through the sleep period, which is a good reason for the sufficiency of both the quality and the duration of sleep. So it's not only enough. It's not just enough to sleep, but you should sleep for a long enough time, and the sleep environment, this sleep conditions should be sufficiently of good quality, restful, quiet, and dedicated. Slide 2, please. To understand and unpack the sleep process, let's review it in 3 stages. We'll take it as sleep physiology, sleep impact from lifestyle, and sleep impact on health. Slide 3, please. So we'll start with sleep physiology 101. Like everything else, the drive for sleep is centered in the brain, powered by deep brain neural networks. So sleep comes from the brain, powered by specific areas that regulate our sleep-wake cycles, the sleep centers. 2 principal groups exist, and these are those driving what we call, one, the homeostatic process of sleep, and those that control the circadian rhythm of sleep. The first one is the drive that promotes falling asleep after a period of wakefulness by gradually reducing alertness until when sleep starts. So it's, as you have finished, as the time of the day is coming, it makes you, end of the day is coming, it makes you slowly tired and approaching the sleep period. And the circadian rhythm center is the center that controls our response to the light and dark cycle of the day. These together, these two centers harmonize to create the state we know as sleep. It follows, therefore, that with any disharmony or disconnection between these two processes, sleep becomes disturbed and of poor quality, as we will explore further shortly. And as mentioned above, sleep is not just a static state, but a dynamic series of stages that are each important and play special roles in the refreshment and restoration of a good night's rest. Next slide, please. Now we have sleep stages of sleep, the non-rapid eye movement sleep stage, and the rapid eye stage of sleep. So the first one is the NREM, and the second one is the REM. The NREM sleep, which is the non-rapid eye movement sleep stage, the first and the major part of our night sleep, is also broken up into three parts, with increasing degrees of muscle and brain relaxation occurring in a stepwise fashion. The most helpful and reparative stage occur in phase 3 of this stage of the NREM sleep. So the most helpful healing and reparative processes occur in the later part of the NREM sleep. The REM sleep, occupying about a quarter of our sleep time, is the stage where we have our vivid dreams. Next slide, please. These stages and phases circle repeatedly several times through the sleep period, with the most benefit coming from the deepest stages. So the benefit of sleep depends on and derives from how long and how well you stay asleep. You will notice that I am emphasizing this. The chairman, quite importantly said something about people who think they can sleep for 3 hours. They boast they can sleep for 3 hours. No, you're not doing yourself any good because you're not staying asleep enough. Is when you stay asleep long enough, you circle through enough cycles of sleep, and you reach the deeper layers of sleep where the restoration occurs. And that is that the longer amount disturb your sleep, the more cycles of the stages you go through, and therefore the more of the cumulative benefit of each stage you get. Now we'll go on to sleep and lifestyle. Obviously, what we do impacts the quality of our sleep time, from what we eat and drink during the day to our own bedtime habits. These are best summarized in the concept of sleep hygiene, which is a universally known concept, a list of do's and don'ts for promoting and optimizing sleep. I would advise us to really look at these and adhere to them. Next slide, please. Sleep and health. From all the forerunning, you can easily appreciate that a habit of sound sleep is beneficial to our bodies and souls. Sleep deprivation produces significant long and short-term health risk, ranging from the reduction of the general vigilance and especially the hazard of dropping off to sleep without warning while you are driving, to memory problems, the exacerbation of chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes, and reduced immunity, which promotes the development of ailments ranging from infections to carcinomas. Sleep deprivation is also a strong cofactor in pathological difficulties with mood, i.e., depression and anxiety. Next slide, please. Your colleague at work, therefore, that you find grumpy and irritable may not be reacting to something you did as much as not having had a good night rest. Little wonder then that Caesar needed men around him who sleep well at night. Thank you.
Would you like us to go to the next slide?
Yeah, you can go to the last slide. That will be the last slide, yes.
Oh, so this is the last slide?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
So short. So
Thank
people
you
can
very
ask them.
much indeed. Oh, I think there's one more slide here, Doctor. The cost of poor
Okay, the
sleep.
cost of, yes, okay.
Do you want to speak to this?
Mine stops. But that is what I've already mentioned. That's a list of
Okay.
the things that I've just talked about. Some of a short list of the effects. The reduced alertness, the
Okay.
driving hazards, memory issues, long chronic diseases, weakened immunity, mood and anxiety problems, cancer risk, all aggravated by a chronic habit of depriving yourself of good sleep. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Doctor.
Yeah.
Whilst you were speaking, we were joined by one of our council members, Alhaji Abibu Tijani, FCIS. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, sir.
And
Thank you very much indeed, Doctor.
the very
Yes, sir.
last
Go
slide,
ahead.
the farewell slide. What is last slide at the end? Thank you. That's final slide. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
The takeaway
Sleep
message.
well, live well. Fantastic way to end it. Thank you very much indeed, Doctor. Right, so we will take questions at this point. If you do have questions, please indicate by raising your electronic hands and we will yield the floor to you. But before then, let me kick off with a couple of questions of my own, Doctor. Okay, so right, you could also type your questions in the chat box and we will read them out. So firstly, we have a question. Doctor, may I suggest that you note all the questions so that you can take them all together just to manage time?
Sure.
If that works for you, Doctor.
Sure.
Okay, so we have a question from Mrs. Laide Adeyemo. Thank you very much for joining us as always. And the question goes, how does hormonal imbalance affect sleep? What role does this play? How does hormonal imbalance affect sleep? What role does this play? That's one question. So I was also going to ask a question. So you spoke about the stages of sleep. You spoke about the most benefit coming from the non-rapid eye movement stage. How then do you explain the phenomenon with some people who sleep with their eyes open? You know, do they get any benefit from sleeping? Is this an anomaly or what's this about? Secondly, there was a lot of emphasis from you on quality sleep. What does this really mean? Is it different from just falling on the bed, closing your eyes? Is there a science to it? You know, those are my own initial questions. Let me pause for a moment and take questions from our attendees. Once again, you could ask your questions by just raising your electronic hands, or you could type your question in the chat box and we'll read them out. We have one other question here, and this is from Olubukola Shomolu, and he's asking, at what point in and for how long of sleeping do you get to that place where it really refreshes your body and mind? Once again, at what point in and for how long of sleeping do you get to that place where it really refreshes your body and mind? I think we have about 4 questions now, Doctor.
Yes.
Okay. I don't see any hands up, so perhaps you could get started with these questions.
All right. Thank you all so much. So the first one is hormonal imbalance, how it affects sleep. The importance of that question is actually buried in what I've said before. But
Doctor, we can't hear you anymore. I think it's the network. Apologies. Okay.
Sleep is about restoration and from. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
We can hear you now.
Okay, so most of the things that happen from the adverse effects of poor sleep is not caused by sleep itself, is that your body was denied the chance to repair itself from them. So hormonal imbalance and all that will not primarily be causative to poor sleep. But if there are processes you go through that cause the hormonal imbalances, your body has very little of restoring itself when you don't sleep well. And that's the point here. Your body goes through a lot of wear and tear. Things that could develop or are developing into more severe, more advanced complications of health. Your chance of fighting them, for example, a lot of dead cells or decaying cells are removed when you sleep. A lot of immune function is going on during sleep, during proper sleep. So if you are going to have a problem and you are not sleeping well, then you are guaranteeing more that the problem will occur, would blossom. And so sleep will not cause a hormonal imbalance. But hormonal imbalance, of course, on its own, if you have a hormonal imbalance, for example, menopausal symptoms, that could disturb your sleep because of the effects of the hormones. So you now have secondary health reasons why you are having poor sleep. But sleep itself will not cause it. And the main relationship between sleep and wellness is that if you have a problem and you're not sleeping well, then that problem gets easily worse. Your body has less chance of fighting back. The one about sleep with eye open, that's easy. It doesn't matter what the neuromuscular function of the eyelids are doing, muscles that control eyelid, whether they are ptotic, we call it ptosis, or whether they are closed, your sleep is still going on, right? So the person with the eye open is completely asleep. So it doesn't matter what the eyelid is doing. The quality of sleep and when does it refresh? Or no, sorry, you said quality of sleep. What does it mean? Great. So we're not talking about the quantity of sleep. That one seems to be intuitive. Quantity of sleep means the time it takes to sleep. Quality of sleep is how conducive to resting and or is your sleep environment. So light, noise, tactile interferences. There's somebody kicking you, touching you, or is there anybody that's moving around where you are? So all those are the things. So your sleep environment should be quiet, dark, and private as much as possible, so that you are not disturbed. It's just about the possible sensory disturbances in your ambience that could interrupt sleep. Some people are very light sleepers. Even the deep sleepers it pulls them out. Even if they don't wake up, disturbance pulls them from deeper level to more shallower levels. So there's still a disturbance going on. That person will still wake up not properly refreshed. So the quality of sleep refers to the condition, the environment, the situation of sleep, and that's being as qualitative as possible. How long of sleep? How long and at what point of sleep does sleep refresh? We already said so, and it's a very good question. You have to say, okay, sleep occurs. So the intricate, stepwise, the descent is actually stepwise, like you're going down. Then you stay at the deepest level. Then your body actually, not your fault, that's the normal physiology. Your body rises out of that depth stepwise again. You don't wake up and then goes back again, right? It circles like that throughout the night. So if your sleep is not long enough, you probably go through 2 cycles. That's not restorative enough. The longer it is, so the answer to that is very easy. Your sleep should be long enough. We're talking 7-8 hours, so that you go through enough cycles and get refreshed. Because unless it stays down long enough and for many times enough, you will not be refreshed. The cycles of sleep are physiological cycling. They keep going up and down like waves, right? Stepwise waves. They go up, they go down stepwise, come up stepwise, go down again. So you want to maintain the sufficiency of this rhythm for long enough, and that's why we recommend sleep to be about 7-8 hours at minimum per night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. We have some other questions, but
Sure.
again, you've talked about 7 to 8 hours. We keep getting different numbers from you medical practitioners. Before I heard
Yeah.
6. Now you've raised the ante. You're talking about 7 to 8 in Lagos. Can we get that number of hours of sleep? That's a rhetorical question, anyway.
I know, no, it's important. What you said is important. You know how when you are inviting people to a party, you ask them to come at 2, whereas the party starts at 4. So I am very, very particular about sleep. And so I recommend mentioning the prime. But if you can get 6, is that not better than 5? Is that better than 4? Ideally, 7 to 8. Question for sleep. So if you can get 6, fine, because you are now being practical. But if you tell somebody 6, they'll not go and get 5 or go and get 4. So it's good to hit that prime and say 8
Okay.
is the hour because that's ideal. If you can get 6, 7, better. But don't be aiming for 3 or 4. It's not enough.
Thank you, doctor. We have some other questions. I'll take this one from Uchenna Uwecha. Do you recommend sleeping pills or relaxants to support sleep? Do you recommend sleeping pills or relaxants to support sleep? I'll take this next one from our
What
chairperson.
sleeping pills
or relaxants to support sleep.
Okay.
The next question, I hope you got that, doctor. Okay. The next question is from our chairperson, Ms. Efosewere, FCIS. And the question is, does the age of a person affect the quality of sleep? Does the age of a person affect the quality of sleep? The next question, that's number 2. The next question, number 3, is how long should you sleep if you want to lose weight? I'm laughing because I'm interested in the answer to that question. How long should you sleep if you want to lose weight? This is Tosin Oyewale. Thank you very much. The next question is from Julie Bassi. And the question is taking pills to assist a person's sleep a wise choice? I think this is related to a question that was asked earlier. So, doctor, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. So, I told you the Q&A question section is always very, very dynamic and interesting. And here we are again. Yeah, I was expecting this one, sleeping pills or relaxants. It's a bit complicated. First of all, you have a situation where somebody has really done a number on their sleep architecture. So that thing I described, it's called the sleep architecture. Once you have dislocated it through habits or through work shifts, in any case, over a period of time, you no longer have the ability, because once you disconnect the circadian rhythm of sleep and destroy the... Can you hear me still? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Please proceed.
There was a change on the screen, yes. So, and you remove the ability of, when you're supposed to be falling asleep, that's when you're staying up, taking coffee and all that. So from what you do or the things that happen to you because of the reality of life, your productive life, you might destroy your body's ability to fall asleep spontaneously. When that happens and you want to restore it, there's no doubt that you now need aid. But the hope is that the aid is not that first of all, you apply the sleep hygiene. That's the first thing a physician will say to you. Try to do the right things for sleep, to promote sleep, which I call the sleep hygiene. So change your ways, repent from your anti-sleep ways, and do the right thing. And then, when necessary, add your sleep aid for a short period of time. That is for proper hypnotics, proper sleep aid. The most accurate part of your question is when you use the word relaxants. Complete no. Relaxant, by definition, are addictive medications that are used to help you relax from anxiety, nervousness, tragedy, bereavement. That person is aggrieved and tense. So they use that. You can use relaxant for a short time to help calm the person's nerves down. I find in this environment especially, people are using this for sleep. Lezotan, diazepam. These are addictive things that eventually, when you try to stop them, they make you need them more because then you won't be able to sleep and you become anxious. So they are what we call addictive medications that you must not use for sleep. In the event that you need a short-term rescue because your sleep pattern is disturbed, there are proper medications that are non-addictive that can be used for a short time. And notes must be made of an especially natural aid, things like melatonin, which are produced by your own pineal gland, and which is very helpful to restoring the architecture of sleep. And this I call this a sleep vitamin, melatonin. You can actually use this it's like taking a vitamin. So melatonin is one thing you can keep using for always to help you restore back your sleep pattern, because it's not only making you sleep, but it's actually fixing it. Is as long as you are doing the right thing. So you cannot be taking anything and still be doing the wrong thing, like going to work at night or staying up late, doing something when you should be falling asleep. This is what disrupts it. There should be proper time for going to bed and proper time for waking up, and then ensuring that the period of sleep is secured, quiet, calm, dark. So unless you are doing that, nothing would help. But in any case, if you properly need to use something to help, it must be something that is short term and non-addictive. So there's a place for that. But I also mentioned that especially melatonin, for somebody having any problem with sleep, you can use melatonin as a vitamin. It's non-addictive. It's a natural thing because your body actually produces it, and that gives you sleep support. But not relaxant, for God's sake. Benzodiazepines, that is quite inadvisable. Age and quality of sleep. Nothing with age or sleep. All ages, if they're lucky enough not to have things that disturb them or disrupt sleep, should sleep well. The young and the old elderly tend to sleep more, tend to rest more. But otherwise, age has no impact on the quality of sleep. And how long should we sleep to lose weight? I laughed at this because it's interesting. One should have seen that coming, but I didn't. Weight, as important and as pervasive as that problem is, actually, it's not related to sleeping, the sense you are asking the question from, but that if you oversleep instead of going to work out, you gain weight. Sleep will not help you lose weight. If sleep is helping you lose weight, then something is going wrong. There's fire on the mountain. If you are sleeping so for such a short time that you begin to lose weight from that stress on your body, then that's not good.
Doctor, we lost you for a bit there. Hello, doctor. Apologies, everyone. I believe the doctor is having some network challenge. Hello, doctor. Okay, if you can hear us, perhaps you might want to put off your video if that will improve the network quality. Hello, doctor. Hello, doctor. Apologies, everyone. Let's just give him a minute.
Okay, while we're waiting, I just want to thank some people who have joined us. Alhaji Tijani is not just a council member, but also the chairman of Kaduna State Chapter. So I must say thank you for joining us all the way from Kaduna. Then we have a former ICSAN member, Mr. Ojiji, who has also joined us. So thank you for joining us on this wellness discussion and journey. So I don't know if Dr. Okafor is back.
I just spoke with him. I think he's having a network challenge, but he's trying to reconnect because we still have a couple of questions in the chat box for him to answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Adulaja.
Yes, man. Apologies, everyone. Let's just give him a minute so that he can take the other questions.
Sorry, I'm with you now. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can. Thank you, doctor. Yes, we can hear you now.
Connection. My connection went off. Is it
No
possible?
worries.
Let me know where you stop hearing me.
So I was going to suggest that perhaps you might want to turn off your video if that will help with the network connection.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So at what point did we stop hearing what I was saying?
I think you were talking about the last was the weight connection between sleep and weight. I think that was the last point you were addressing.
Okay, okay. So what I said was there's no real connection between weight and sleep, and that weight remains a function of calorie restriction and exercising adequately. By the time sleep is going to affect your weight, then that's a bad thing because it means you are so strained and stressed by lack of sleep that you're actually losing weight. That's not a good, that's a red flag. So sleep has no impact on weight whatsoever. The idea is to sleep enough and be restored and refreshed enough. You want to lose weight, so you have to get up, do your exercise, and also mind your calorie intake throughout the day. Thank you.
Thank
Next
you,
question.
Doctor. We'll take the final set of questions. The
Okay.
first one here is from Joshua Olewu, and he says, "Hi, Doctor. Thank you for your insights. What steps should a person experiencing insomniac symptoms do? Which doctor should such person see? Any insight about sleep clinics? Thank you." I'll take that once again. What steps should a person experiencing insomniac symptoms do? Which doctor should such person see? And any insights about sleep clinics? Thank you. The next question is from the chairperson, Mr. Posewere FCIS. And the question is, where someone practices sleep hygiene but still finds themselves waking up at intervals, how can this be managed? Does that interval also count for the 6 to 8 hours? That's where someone practices sleep hygiene but still finds themselves waking up at intervals. How can this be managed? Does that interval also count for the 6 to 8 hours? The next question is from the Vice Chairman, Mr. Adebola Babatunde FCIS. And the question is it normal to always feel sleepy after meals? And how can one manage sleepiness and productivity? I'll take that again. Is it normal to always feel sleepy after meals? And how can one manage sleepiness and productivity? Doctor, you may please take the floor.
All right, that last question is it when one feels sleepy after meals?
After meals, that's correct. Always feel sleepy after meals. Did you get that, Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Thank you so much. So, steps to take to promote sleep is what we said, what we talked about already, sleep hygiene. So, you do your regular sleep schedule, you get a calm environment, you get light meals, you avoid intoxicants before bed, you avoid alcohol before bed, you avoid that's coffee, sorry, before bed, you avoid gymming, actually anything that really arouses your system before bed. You avoid talking in bed, watching television in bed, reading in bed. If you have to be, if you don't feel sleep when you go to bed and you have this alertness, you have to leave the bed actually. Do something else, maybe in a living room until you get sleepy, so that the bedroom is mentally synced to sleep only. And you create a quiet environment for yourself. Sleep schedule means you try to go to bed at a fixed time and you wake up at a fixed time. You keep doing this and you avoid taking naps during the day, no matter how much you are tempted to. That is what will kick in the first phase or stage of sleep, or the first driver of sleep, the homeostatic one, which will make sure that you are tired by the end of the day. If you take naps during the day or sleep during the day, it's kind of jeopardizes your ability to be tired enough to allow sleep to kick in. So you do your sleep hygiene steps, and that should hopefully help you with falling better at falling asleep. Doctors to sleep are the same doctors you have in sleep clinics. Now, sleep clinics are so we call sleep physiologists. We use sleep clinic to make diagnosis for things that could impact sleep. So you can have sleep apnea. You can have people having abnormal movements during sleep, and you have issues with the structure of the upper airway that doesn't allow proper breathing. Those things are what the sleep clinic is trying to find out. What secondary factors make you not able to sleep well, if there are? So in a few population of patients, there'll be something else that's happening, especially sleep apnea. Then they will give you the CPAP machine to put on your face to be able to prevent that snoring and that poor respiratory drive when you are sleeping. But where there's nothing to, when you are diagnosed with no actual pathology that they can correct, and of course it goes down again to you taking the right steps. They would advise you to go back and take the right steps. And as somebody was asking, what happens if sleep hygiene still leaves gaps? That's when the hypnotics come in. Short-term hypnotics, short-term sleep medication. First of all, you correct what you are doing wrong, because that's what leads to the fracturing of your sleep. There will be a few things you are doing wrong. You go over that with the physician, identify those and correct those. And if you're not able to get back to sleep right away, that's when you use hypnotics, not relaxants. But hypnotics will now come in to help you close those gaps, because you might not be able to do it on your own right away. So the more you are sleeping better, then the more you can actually achieve proper sleep by yourself by using something that's non-addictive. I must emphasize. I can't emphasize that enough. We're not talking about addictive relaxants. We're talking about what we call hypnotics, things used only for sleep, like zopiclone, for example, Imofane. So you fill those gaps by using a short-term sleep aid. And then again, the primary first step is doing the right things to promote sleep. Your sleep hygiene methods and strategies must be implemented. You cannot be using medication for sleep and you are still doing the things that will disrupt your sleep. Extremely important. And so sleepy after meals. That's just now there's something called the specific dynamic action of foods. When you eat, there's a certain revving of your metabolism that comes to just eating. Temperature will go up a little bit, body gets warm and all that. Certain changes that occur just because food enters your body. Depending on the kind of food, the amount of this dynamic action also depends on what kind of carbohydrates versus proteins versus fat. But if it now leads to the sleep, it's because you are sleep deprived. It's telling you that you are owing. I think that needs to be mentioned. Your body actually has a way of storing up a sleep debt. So if you've been sleeping this is very important. If you've been sleeping 3 hours over a period of days, and we say your number of hours should be 7 hours, you are owing 4 per night. You really have to pay for those ones to be refreshed. So one night of sleeping 8 hours is not going to be enough. You only paid for 4 hours. So it's like in the bank, what you owe is what you pay. So the body accumulates a sleep debt where what you have lost needs to be caught up with. That's why you have the concept of going on leave, so you can sleep enough and rest enough. Even though some people use their leave and be pursuing their business, but you're supposed to rest so that your body catches up with what you have lost, because you are owing a debt. It's called a sleep debt. And so when you are eating and you are feeling sleepy, you have not slept enough. You are owing, and that's why you need to go and rest properly. Otherwise, you'll be falling asleep because the SDA of foods is now triggering your debts and telling you what you see you're still owing. All right. So that's what's happening there. Thank you.
Okay, we had two other questions which I believe you haven't answered. There was one from the chairperson where someone practices sleep hygiene but still finds themselves waking up at intervals. How can this be managed? Does the interval also count for 6 to 8 hours? Please hold on. Let me take the other question so you can answer all at once. There's also a question we missed earlier from Oluwatosin Iyabo Fagbule, and the question is, do you recommend lights being on while asleep? Do you recommend lights being on while asleep? And we have one other question here, still from the chairperson. You said we should avoid gyms before bed. Should long walks before bed also be avoided? That's question number 3. You said we should avoid gyms before bed. Should long walks before bed also be avoided? Let me add one question to that, which will be question number 4. Now, you did mention in passing earlier snoring, and that's one phenomenon which is still a bit of a mystery. And I want to ask, is snoring an indication of good sleep, deep sleep, which by extension means it's a good thing, or is it actually a bad thing? Is it an anomaly or a good thing? You may please take the floor, doctor.
Okay. So first of all, I answered the first one. You may have missed it. The first question on whether there are sleep gaps. I jumped to it from sleep clinic. I said, and that's
Okay, apologies.
comes is relevant. When you have no problem that the sleep clinic doctor, the sleep doctor can fix, and you still have sleep gaps after doing sleep hygiene, that's where hypnotics come in. That's why I went on the issue of medication. That's when we apply hypnotics to help you fill those gaps for a short time while you remain vigilant about your sleep hygiene strategies. If you go back to doing the things you're doing wrong, that will not even help you. So you will have implemented your sleep hygiene strategies, and then you use a short aid hypnotic to get you back into a proper sleep pattern. That's what we said there. We didn't hear the questions about light at all. That did not come up, but I've already
I
answered
think I
that.
missed it. I missed it, not
Yeah,
you.
yeah, okay. I did say this is something you must not do. It's part of when you ask your question about quality of sleep. I mentioned that the sleep situation should be optimized with being dark enough, quiet enough, and devoid of physical distractions. That's how you optimize. So your bed should be comfortable where you're sleeping. So obviously, if your bed is not comfortable, you'll be tossing and turning all night, and you'll wake up unrefreshed. There should be nobody who's sleeping close enough to kick at you or poke at you in sleep, as poor nursing mothers do. The child will always wake them up or poke at them or disturb them. And you should have the place dark enough without light. And a lot of people go to sleep without light, but really it impacts the quality of your sleep, whether you know it or not. You should sleep with no light on. That respects the normal light dark cycle of the earth. That's how we evolved, right? You're supposed to have time of light and and that's why sleep is at night. So if you're artificially creating day when you're sleeping, you are not helping the case. So to avoid dreams before bed, the issue really lies with those who have a problem with sleeping. If you have a problem with sleeping, you need to implement sleep hygiene, especially avoid your gym and hard workouts during the nighttime. Some people don't find a walk, arduous, strenuous. They find it refreshing, especially when you've had a large meal, a large dinner, and you want to work it out. So if it doesn't strain you, just go for a walk and you're used to it, then that's probably going to be refreshing. But if you have a difficulty with sleep, you probably don't want to do that either, because that's part of what you're trying to implement to help you sleep better. So you're not activating your body before you go to bed. Snoring, that's a no-no. That's something that we look for during the sleep clinic to take. What's happening in snoring is that your upper airway, the tongue is falling backwards and reducing your inflow, your oxygen flow. So medically, the data support that people who snore are more likely to have stroke down the road. So it's a very bad thing. When you are snoring, you are not sleeping well, because even though you are deeply asleep, your oxygen supply is shorting, your airflow. You are snoring because of the effects of obstruction behind your airway. So it normally comes to obesity, or sometimes just the structure of your upper airway, the tongue, the nasal cavity, and all that. So it falls back and it's trying to close. You're trying to asphyxiate. It's like telling whether it helps you to sleep better if somebody is choking when you are sleeping. Of course not. So that's what your tongue is trying to do. It's trying to block your airway, and you are breathing hard. And that's not like somebody shaking you as you're sleeping, because you are rattling yourself just to be able to breathe. So definitely a bad thing. And that's one of the things we use the sleep clinic time to do. Attach probes to you. You sleep over at the sleep clinic, and they are watching you and seeing what's going on while you're asleep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Please indulge one final question.
No
Sincere
problem.
apologies. Thank you,
Yes.
Doc. So we have one question from ICTXN Mustafa. And the question goes, I go on 47-kilometer 47-kilometer weekly spread for 5 days, currently above 45 years. What is your expert advice and recommendation? He says it goes on 47-kilometer weekly spread for 5 days, and he's currently above 45 years. What's your expert advice and recommendation?
I'm trying to get it. Weekly spread. What does that mean?
Like
I
walks.
suppose this is a walk routine.
Yes, walk routine, yes.
So he walks for 47 kilometers per week.
Yes.
Yes.
How is this a problem? Why is this a question? I see. I see, Usman. How is this a question? You can
I
keep
suppose
that
he's asking if this will impact his
as looking
sleep
at.
patterns in any way.
Sorry, no, no, no. Especially when you do this in the early part of the day.
Exactly, the timing of the
Exercise
walk.
are best done in the early part of the day, where your cortisol can work for you. Your cortisol, your very powerful corticosteroid released by the body, it also comes in a circadian rhythm, high in the morning, low at night. So when you use that, it's like somebody taking steroids, the same way athletes take steroids. So if you walk out in the morning, it's a better gain because your cortisol level is also high. So you probably want to leave your work time. And of course, it now adds to the burden of stress you have taken that will improve your tiredness at night. That's not the question at all. I see you must continue and may God bless you. More people hopefully will join you in that prayer. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much, Doctor. Thank you. Sincere gratitude. Let's keep the applause coming. Madam Chair, can we take the plaque presentation before the vote of thanks?
Yes, certainly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I
do I
have
just
it here. I'll just try to project it. Now, this is very significant because this is the second time that the good doctor has honored our invitation. Now, Dr. Okafor is dual qualified. He practices medicine both in Nigeria and in Canada. And if you are going to see him in Canada, you'll be paying him by the hour. So we can imagine the debt of gratitude he's done to us by, offering this to us for a second time. So indeed, we are most grateful. Madam Chair, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Azulaja, for doing this. And I want to sincerely, from the depth of our hearts, on behalf of the chapter, thank Dr. Dumebi Okafor for doing this for us the second time. And everyone who was on this call would agree that this was enlightening. And Dr. Okafor has helped us to challenge some of those assumptions we've had about sleep. At least we have clarity now. We have a better understanding as to how we can manage our health and everything that has to do with our sleep. We do not need to negotiate away our sleep, and we need to improve our sleep patterns and hygiene. So on behalf of Lagos State Chapter, Ixan Lagos State Chapter, I present to you, Dr. Dumebi Okafor, this plaque. We would send the physical plaque to your office or any designated place, but we thought we must do this ceremoniously so you understand and know that we appreciate your coming on board to educate us on this very important topic, which we sometimes take for granted. So thank you, and God bless you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Vice Chairman, Mr. Debola Babatunde FCIS, please take the floor for the vote of thanks.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Dr. Dumebi Okafor. The session was really enlightening and insightful. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate your time spent with us here today. And I would like to appreciate everyone who participated here today. And first, to our President and Chairman of Council, Mrs. Uto Pana, and the Vice President, Mr. Francis Olawale, FCIS. I want to say thank you to all our council members who joined us, and to all the active participants. The number of questions that we received, it really shows that we really followed up on the session. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And I would also like to highlight the Social Secretary for the effort. and for anchoring this. Thank you so much, Mr. Timidayo Odulaja, FCIS, and to the secretariat too, who are behind the scene, putting all this together. Thank you so much. We are really grateful. So to our members again, we love you, and we look forward to seeing more of you participating at our events. And this has been a good one. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Fantastic. Let's
Sorry, Mr. Odulaja, I actually missed recognizing one of our immediate past honorary secretary, Mrs. Debusola Iyamo, who joined us on the call. So I thought it was important to have that recognition done. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, the Vice Chairman, for the vote of thanks. Indeed, every good thing that has a beginning must have an end. On that note, we will draw the curtain on this edition of the quarterly health and wellness webinar. There's a lot more to come. Stay tuned, and God bless. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Good afternoon, everyone.
Cool. All right.
Bye.
Nigeria, we